Ownership of their property sets co-op members apart from tenants, who are often at the mercy of their landlords and lack incentive for the upkeep of the property they live in. Many landlords and management companies neglect their properties or are slow to respond to the needs of their tenants. Tenants with irresponsible landlords must live with inadequacies in their homes, but of course are required to pay their rent on time or be evicted. Co-op members have the power to keep their house the way they want it to be kept. They never have to ask permission from a landlord if they want to paint a wall or plant a garden, though they may have to ask their housemates. It is this ownership that inspires them to put time and effort into making their houses look like homes, and makes co-ops stand out from rental apartments.
The barbecue that we just built in the backyard, made out of brick and concrete. And Andy and I and my boyfriend Mike been building it for like over a year. We started it last summer and we just finished it.
With the cost estimate of what, like $85?
Yeah, it was supposed to be like $70 to $80, and we went over budget times 4.
Although often slighted for being outside the typical American nuclear family model, co-ops emphasize community more than most American families. Though unrelated, housemates and co-ops are like siblings.
It's kind of like, it's not...
Lost forever!
Anybody else want to pledge their undying love to Law?
I really love Bob. It's great.
I love the dirt!
Really, I do.
I love the smelly
The mice and the cockroaches. Chris, when you die, can we compost you?
In fact, I want my ashes spread over the raspberries.
A major community builder in co-ops is the house dinner. Larger houses eat together almost every night, and smaller houses less often. Friends Co-op has a traditional moment of silence before each meal. At many houses, diners clap in appreciation of the cooks. Co-opers often hang out in common spaces and talk with their housemates in the absence of television. Though a community of people is readily available, co-opers do have their own space to retreat to when they need privacy. Community events are a regular part of co-op life.
I took time out to write to my old friend. I walked across that red bridge. Mail my letter running
I thought that she was great, and I don't remember her name, but I know I didn't want her fate. And that boy thought that he could.
You kind of squish it out onto bread.
Onto bread?
How's your bread dress?
I guess we should get a...
Well, maybe I should go put on my bread.
My date had a Serbian plate.
The equation is constant.
Universal.
This is my worst nightmare for a game. Every single word I wanted to use was on the list.
That's the way it is.
That's the whole point.
Doesn't know you to use like
You have to learn how
not
to use.
this and.
You have to learn how to use a lot of.
And imagine the most intimate experience that you'd care to imagine with Wittgenstein. You are in a playing field with your eyes bandaged, and someone leads you by the hand. or you walk along a field track simply following it. All these situations are similar to one another, but what is common to all the experiences?
The depth of community in the co-ops was proved in early 2001 when a late-night fire at Ofek Shalom left the house's 12 members homeless. The loss of the house was heartbreaking. Other co-ops stepped in to provide volunteer assistance, and Women's Co-op offered their house so that Ofekers could keep their tradition of Friday night Shabbat. The group at Ofek stayed together, and before the end of the year, they had found a new house. One benefit of co-op living that often goes unnoticed is the education that it provides its members. In our convenience-oriented society, cooking is a dying art. People prefer convenience over taste, health, and sustainability.
Made some broiled zucchini. I'm not sure if once you get there.
Let me get up on this.
Up a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. Not quite done yet. Give it a few minutes.
Smells really good.
That's wonderful.
Some raw, sort of salsa type stuff over noodles and bun cake.
Wow.
Yeah, I made a little too much. But
Most houses buy unprocessed food in bulk, and many culinary delights are made from scratch. Co-opers often learn gardening skills by tending garden plots for their house, or by putting in hours at their house's community-supported agriculture farm. The payoff is in delicious and diverse fresh organic vegetables.
What are you making, Ra?
I'm squeezing a lot of lemons.
I thought it was really good. Right here, okay.
Living cooperatively requires at least a little bureaucracy. Owning a house and keeping a large cooperative going takes a lot of administering, and much of it falls on the members themselves. Since meetings are a part of every co-op's administration, co-opers inevitably learn something about facilitating and participating in meetings. In addition to meetings, though, work jobs can give people good experience in maintenance, finances, or just taking on responsibility.
I think that I did a better job of becoming an adult here than I would have on my own, because there's so many more responsibilities, you know. And then also it's kind of like, since there are 8 of us and we cooperate, you take on the responsibilities as you're ready. You're not forced to have them all at once so that it's overwhelming. It's just like this safety net that you have, so you can gradually learn how the world works, gradually learn how to make mortgage payments without having to actually buy a house at the age of, 20 or whatever.
And gradually learn to work with other people, in a group. Like you have goals. You learn to listen to other people's opinions. You learn to compromise, and it's just like a good way of learning to be an adult in all the ways that kind of matter.
Right. And how to confront people too.
Right. Exactly. You don't want to be you don't want to be spineless, but you can't be a complete asshole. It's sort of learning to walk that tightrope.